Happy Sunday, y'all. It is your boy, Born Zero, aka the Homeless Hokage, aka Clean 15. And today we have Boruto episode 229. And off the bat, I got heavy connections to the Land of Waves arc. I think what they did here was give Kawaki his own little taste of that, being this is his first shinobi mission. And not only are they connecting towards original Naruto Part 1, they gave us some pretty decent villains. Now, of course, it's not on no fucking Haku level or some Zabuza level. I'm not saying that because that in itself acted as world building. We needed those type of villains to show the original Naruto viewer where the power scaling could go. You know, this is more so episodes for the emotional development and character development of these characters, whereas Naruto Part 1, it acted as both things, character development as well as world building. So all that Naruto shit is like a prerequisite for what we get now. You're supposed to already come into Boruto with that type of knowledge. Therefore, we're just strictly getting these type of moments for character development as opposed to, you know, over the top hard hitting action. But what they gave us here was super solid. Nigga, if I had to scale this on a number thing, nigga, honestly, for me, and I'm biased, I'd give this anywhere from a 9 out of 10. But if I was not biased, I'd probably get this a cool 8. But, you know, me being biased, I get that 0.1, that extra point. But what I do think, while they connect to the Land of Waves arc, I think it's more of a flip side. Because what we got here at the end with also that cliffhanger is a stray away from teamwork. Kawaki making the decision to go on his own, essentially semi going rogue. This might play into his philosophy on why he does go rogue in the future, because he's like, look, bro, those rules don't apply to me. I'm not even a shinobi, bruh. I do things my own way. I don't do the rules. Fuck y'all. I'm out. So that's what we got at the cliffhanger. But if you compare this to the original Land of Waves arc, that was more of a collaborative effort. This is Team 7 going up against a high-ranked, I don't know if he was Kage level, but a high-ranked shinobi and Zabuza coming together, being 3 lesser tier, gaining at that moment, and using teamwork to overcome the fucking rival, to overcome what was probably impossible. But if there's anything I think I noticed from this episode and from these moments is this comes from the words of Sasuke when he was talking to Boruto when he was a child, or when he was younger, like OG, like not OG, but like younger Boruto when he was still perceived as a brat, where Sasuke says, you know, you should learn the father you had before he was Hokage. You should learn the story of the Hokage before he became that when Naruto was a kid. I think those words also apply to Kawaki, because right now where Kawaki is, he's going through like this power struggle where he's not feeling as strong as he once was. He still has those lab tech enhancements on his body. He no longer has the karma seal. And this kind of bleeds into my thinking of I do feel as if this mission may go south, mainly because Kawaki is choosing to do his own thing. He's kind of going against the shinobi way, and I do think he's gonna find himself in a situation where he can't necessarily handle. Not because these shinobi are super OP or anything like that, but they are shinobi. They are using these certain tactics that may trick Kawaki. Now, if we go strength by strength, I think Kawaki could beat him in a fight just purely off strength. But when it comes to strategy, I just think with the shinobi experience of the opponents, that's where he'll get twisted up. And we've seen that in certain aspects, certain moments of this battle, when it got into the whole blood tree jutsu and Kawaki is trying to go forward and just slash the shit. Shikadai had to tell the nigga to chill. But not only do I think Kawaki has to kind of learn Naruto's original story, being a weakling, which where Kawaki probably feels where he is now, no longer having karma, a weakling, Naruto a weakling, understanding that he has to train in order to become stronger, where we have Kawaki who essentially is already tainted by the lust of power he had a supreme amount of power before, but now he's reduced to nothing. And now he wants to quickly regain that power. He wants to quickly achieve his goals. Whereas Naruto was someone who had to go through that struggle. He had to go through that constant training. He had to adapt and was able to grow up in the shinobi way. Whereas this is something, the shinobi lifestyle, the shinobi way, the leaf, is something that has or is attempting to adopt Kawaki. This is not something he grew up doing. And not only that, we do get that little aspect of the art, the artwork, the vase not really being a piece of art, but really being something more important, thus making the mission a little bit more heavier. They probably needed more backup. Like, honestly, I don't even want to say this, but this probably is more of a mission where Konohamaru had to be there type thing. But you know how he is portrayed in this series. Now, I want to move into my, well, actually, before I get into my second point, just to recap that first point, the Land of Waves being something in the original Naruto, something that displayed the power of teamwork and strategy, whereas I feel like Kawaki's version of it is going to be the inverse. It's going to show you the flip side. What happens when you decide to go against teamwork, when you decide to stray away and essentially go rogue from the mission, disobeying your higher-ups, being Shikadai. Now, on to my second point. I want to get into my favorite scene, and I think this reminded me of when we were getting those little moments, those not behind the scenes, but those conversations between the Kara members. This is us being kind of introduced to their personalities and their social interactions. How do they view each other? What happens when they're in their base? We get Team 10 pretty much at the beginning of their mission, and we get the power dynamic, we get the social dynamic between Kawaki and Team 10, where we have Chocho being all googly-eyed and shit, Kawaki's, you know, hard body, what you looking at, shorty, and then Shikadai's in this midst of it all, trying to just, you know, brief the mission. Hey, Kawaki, are you paying attention? Kawaki's being all nonchalant. Of course I am. You know, this is no big deal. And they added a layer of humor with the whole person who hired these people, the boy who hired them for this mission. He's like, dog, I don't know what's going on. These guys are not the most professional. We got her over there daydreaming. Kawaki don't even give a fuck. Oh, hold on. You're not even a shinobi in the first place? I should have got a fucking discount. What the fuck? This money is precious. And this is where we start bleeding into the seriousness of the moment, where we have this kid who I initially thought was like, being sort of a smart mouth type. But we then learn his story. He's actually someone who doesn't have a lot of resources. He's very poor. He lives in a now thriving village, but it seems as if there's like some sort of a caste system where the wealthier people get more leeway as far as the poor goes. It's like, hey, nigga, we got the disease. You peasants, go ahead and die. Survive, niggas. But we learn that he doesn't have a lot of money. So all that money he had, the money he spent, is precious to him. He's like, fuck, did I just waste this fucking money on this, not even a shinobi, this fucking assistant to the shinobi and a fat ass, basically. And then we got one dude who's confident, being Shikadai. Not only that, I did see a moment in those interactions where I felt Kawaki would come around and maybe relate to the kid and see himself as someone who used to have to run errands for his dad. At this point in the episode, the boy was telling his story of, oh yeah, I just got to buy a vase for my grandma. She sent me on this errand. I just want to make it back safe. I thought Kawaki would connect the dots with coming from poverty and being sent on errands and whatnot, but he kind of made these comments towards the kid that didn't show him having any type of insight or deductioning skills, reasoning skills. It was just more like insults. I thought, because when Kawaki had said, why would you pay for art instead of clothes? That essentially was saying, I guess the clothes that the kid were wearing were supposed to display him being poor. Honestly, I just thought it was shinobi attire. But Kawaki says, look, you're spending money on art and you're not even buying yourself new clothes, hinting at the fact that those clothes were probably not the most stylish. It looks like they're probably low quality, at least in Kawaki's eyes. I thought that was going to be a moment where they kind of connected the dots, bonded. We do get that bonded moment further down where Kawaki feeds a rice ball to the child, and rather than bonding over being from a place of disease and poverty, they bond over their role models. And I really did like this moment from Kawaki because you could see where he's like, yeah, I guess I want to be a shinobi because the person I look up to, being Naruto, is one, and I admire him. And he has like this smile on his face, like this is a real goal. And maybe he's acting kind of hard because he's trying to protect his goal. He's trying to protect that soft side of him who admires someone. He doesn't want anyone in to see that. He has to use his defense mechanism and build these walls. But that was a lovely, lovely moment from this episode. And this is where the mission kind of unfolds. Almost. He thinks about it. The boy thinks about telling the truth, but then he's like, And in that scene, I thought it was going to be Shikadai overhearing Kawaki and his ambitions to be like Naruto, to be like the Hokage. And I thought that was maybe where they would begin to mesh. And Shikadai would be like, you know what? I know he's acting like an asshole, but I know where his heart is. Let's do this mission. Let's be successful. It was not Shikadai. It was them goons. It was the villains. Now, these villains, they did a very good job at portraying their talent, similar to what we got in the Kara Actuation arc with those whole forest, the guys who was assassinating the queen and whatnot. Not talking about Deepa. The people we got before Deepa, they are, I would say they're on that par. They're on that level because we got some solid ass jutsu. The whole blood tree jutsu thing was cool, and they're doing a very good job with the leader of the duo. They're showing little glimpses of what this man could do. He's very mysterious. He seems like he's fucking like evil. The nigga seems evil. He's killing kids. He has like 6 bodies and they're all fucking kids. Starting from the introduction, the very first moments of this episode where he mysteriously kills this child. We don't even know how he did it. And then he displays a visual jutsu where he was able to retrace the steps of the boy who hired Team 10. But they're doing a good job at stringing it along because they're making me more curious. I'm interested in seeing what the fuck he has. We definitely seen some missed jutsu, and the hand signs looking solid, bro. I can't even complain. Like this whole Kawaki Ninja Shinobi arc has been animated very good. Nothing looked like no boof over on this side. I also like how they're dissecting this mission into like a multiple part episode where we got the initial battle here and then seemingly the boss battle will be on the next episode. Hopefully Team 7 pulls up because we did see Boruto Mitsuki started to kind of suspect some things, and how this episode ended, we could see where Shikadai's kind of in a pickle because right now he's solo with fucking Chojo who got shanked in the fucking shoulder and shit. And he's like, what the fuck? So I'm assuming we will see Team 7 in the next episode. But getting into this fight, Shikadai, he is the MVP for this episode because he came through. He was the puppet master of this. And this is what I mean, the teamwork. And it was kind of, it reminded me of Team 7 where we get Chojo, who was kind of like the Mitsuki of this episode, being devoted to the team. Look, I'll put my life in Shikadai's hands. I trust him. And then we have the brains, Shikadai, similar to a Sarada. And then Kawaki coming in with the final blow, similar to Boruto. That's kind of how Team 7 operates. But what we got here, starting off the fucking mission, not the mission, but the battle, we get that jutsu where they are sealed, they're trapped by the tree sap, the fucking blood, whatever the fuck, you touch my blood, I then control you. We get the beauty of Shikadai chopping that kid in the neck, and I thought that was dope to see because it acted as 2 things. One, we get the liability out of the way, and we got to see the display of a new jutsu, something I haven't really seen that before. What's the Hedon? It kind of reminded me of Hedon, but like this was a little bit different. But I do think they, made Shikadai chop that nigga in the back of the neck just to get him out the way and display the talent. So I thought that was some beautiful writing. And I think that's pretty much what we got today. We got the neck chop, we got the Team 7, we got the Puppet Master Shikadai. Shikadai allowing Chojo to be manipulated by that villain. Let's be real, I'm not remembering these niggas' names. It's anime canon. I don't gotta, unless you deeper, bruh, I ain't gotta remember you, bruh. But that whole scenario, Chojo being taken over just to be taken over by Shikamaru with his shadow. He said, you take her by blood, I take her by shadow. Let's do this shit. But super solid episode. Shout out to the fucking writers for this one. Shout out to Kawaki. Really shout out to Shikadai. And not only that, let's talk about that whole Rogue moment. I think that shit was kind of like, woo. Like, it seems as if, I don't know if that's the first time, but that was probably the biggest hint at the time skip that I really could remember. That's like the biggest hint. Because otherwise, it's moments where you see Kawaki and you're like, yo, look at how much he loves Naruto. Look at this display. Look at, he's sacrificing his life. He just sacrificed his life for Himawari. He just sacrificed his life for Naruto. You know, he's looking out for everybody. How is he going to go rogue? And now we're starting to see little signs, little comments that he makes where it's like, look, man, fuck this shinobi shit. I don't do rules. Peace. But that's what I got to y'all. Tomorrow is chapter day. And we know chapters like to toy around with what's popping off in the anime. They kind of like coexist in this separate place, being what's released when and when, being what's released in the anime, what's released in the manga. So I don't know what that means. Tomorrow we going through some shit. I ain't saying nothing. Peace. Take care and thank you for watching, dog.